An oil spill at sea can be devastating. Spilt oil coats everything it touches. It clings to every rock, every grain of sand. It kills and contaminates and becomes an unwelcome visitor in every ecosystem it enters. The financial damage can be devastating too. The biggest spills can cost huge amounts to clean up. And, as the world has witnessed all too often, they can happen anywhere, sometimes in those parts of the world that are least able to cope with them. That's why preparation for oil spill response is so vital, and that's why the International Maritime Organization, IMO, and IPECA, the Global Oil and Gas Industry Association for Environmental and Social Issues, have combined in a program to enhance the level of oil spill preparedness in a particularly vulnerable region. The WACAF Project was launched in 2006 to strengthen the national oil spill response capability in 22 countries of West, Central and Southern Africa. Through workshops, training, seminars and deployment exercises with national authorities responsible for oil spill response, it has successfully raised standards throughout the region by focusing on national partnerships and cooperation. As WACAF Chairman Richard Santner explains, IMO and the industry draw on a common vision in implementing the WACAF programme.
It's important to understand first what the WACAF programme is. And at the core of this is a working relationship, a partnership between industry and government enacted through the IMO working with members of IPECA. Essentially, we have different roles and responsibilities based on the activities that we both undertake. But at the heart of this is a shared value to protect the marine environment.
A recent exercise in Cameroon was typical of the kind of hands-on training and experience WACAF provides. Although a simulation, the scenario was one that could happen at any time. Local and national authorities participating in the exercise were informed that a ship leaving the Limbe terminal operated by Sonara, the national refinery company, had collided with a tanker discharging crude oil. Some 5,000 barrels of oil had reportedly been spilled. As WACAF project overseers carefully released further information on the changing scenario to realistically replicate developments in real time, members of the national and local crisis management cells swung into action. Sonara's maritime emergency plan was implemented. Teams were formed to field simulated calls from local residents, businesses, embassies, officials and international media, while oil spill response equipment and personnel were physically deployed. As the mock crisis escalated, the sense of real-life drama created a genuine test for the local responders. It was the intensity of the exercise that provided its true value, as Mr. Samuel Minkeng, a senior official with Cameroon's National Hydrocarbons Corporation, explains.
The
advantages are clear. When we are facing a crisis and we have never practiced, everything goes wrong. So the benefit in undertaking exercises is to gain the reflexes to apply when a crisis arises, in the case of an oil spill, for example.
It is a view echoed by Mr. Ibrahim Talbamala, Director General of Sonara, who also stresses the importance of widespread participation in exercises like this.
This exercise is important to develop the employee's response capacity, but also to train other parties involved, such as the authorities and law enforcement services, to respond to such a disaster situation, which is a very serious situation and could, for example, lead to social unrest.
Oil spill expert Prosper Di Capa wrote the scenario for this exercise. He explains just what he was trying to achieve when developing the unfolding crisis.
What I wanted above all was to test the capacity of the National Incident Command Center to mobilize its staff. The members work in different administrations at the national level, so it is therefore crucial to get them together to manage a crisis situation of that scale. Secondly, it is important to test the capacity of the Incident Command Center to coordinate the crisis with other local centers located in the port city of Limbe, as well as the prefecture, also in Limbe, and the Sonara refinery. So there will be this challenge to see how the coordination will unfold.
Testing the national oil spill response in exercises such as this is of immense value in its own right. But for GI WACAF, it also provides a platform on which to base much deeper capacity building.
By testing the plan, we can identify then where gaps exist, and therefore we can make improvements to the overall response capability. Working here in Cameroon with various organisations, both on the government side and the industry side, is absolutely fundamental to ensuring that the response is as effective as possible.
Underlying the GI WACAF project is IMO's Oil Pollution Preparedness, Response and Cooperation Convention, which entered into force in 1995. This convention embodied a new way for governments and the industry to collaborate in tackling the issue, and, as IMO's Stefan Mikulev explains, building local capacity across a range of related disciplines is the best way to ensure it is implemented effectively.
The scope of the project is to build the capacities of the 22 countries in the region and to assist them in ensuring self-sustaining arrangements to deal with a major incident involving oil. In this respect, it helps the countries build their legal, their policy and their institutional arrangements in cooperation with the industry. And this ensures that the international regime that IMO has adopted is implemented at the regional level in a self-sustaining and efficient way.
In November 2013, GI WACAF's biennial regional meeting in Namibia provided an opportunity to reflect on the overall success of the programme. Here's the verdict of Project Chairman Richard Santner.
But I think going back to the Swakopmund Biennium Conference, the thing that was so noticeable there was that there was such a sense of ownership and pride, a real commitment from the national authorities and the national agencies with the local in-country companies. This was their program now. This was not something being introduced to them, and they were working together on their shared interests, but also having their distinct differences for how they were implementing it in their particular countries.
The success of GI WACAF owes much to the commitment of IMO and the oil companies to reduce oil spills by providing support to governments. In helping to enhance the capacity of countries to prepare for and respond to marine oil spills through the implementation of IMO instruments and the adoption of best practice developed by the oil companies, GI WACAF represents a blueprint for cooperation between the United Nations and industry.